Halo teman-teman semua, balik lagi di Tripaloski. Nah, kali ini gue lagi nungguin reveal announcementnya dari seri Total War. Jadi kebetulan gue juga gak sengaja ngeliat di YouTube-nya Total War, ya. Itu ada notifikasi atau informasi bahwa mereka akan mereveal sesuatu. Mereka akan menginformasikan sesuatu dalam rangka ulang tahun mereka yang ke-25 tahun. Gila ya, seri Total War ini udah 25 tahun. Sedikit lebih muda dari gue, gitu ya. Jadi teman-teman yang masa kecilnya besar dengan game Total War series, berbahagialah karena kalian tidak sendirian. Kita menua bersama ya, bersama dengan game Total War. Nah, ini masih ada waktu 5 menit jelang jelang rilisnya. Coba teman-teman komen ya, komen game Total War apa yang teman-teman pernah mainin, dan kalau misalnya pernah mainin, seri apa yang menjadi judul favorit teman-teman dari Total War. Nah, kalau yang belum main, kepikiran nggak kalau ngelihat seri Total War tuh, kalau misalnya teman-teman tahu ya, terus ngelihat berbagai macam serinya, ada nggak game yang teman-teman pengen coba gitu. Nah, kalau gue pribadi, gue pertama kali main Total War itu kalau nggak salah inget ya, dari Shogun yang kedua. Itu tahun zaman gue kuliah sih, udah lama lah ya pokoknya ya. Itu Total War Shogun yang kedua, itu pertama kali gue main seri Total War. Waktu itu gue belum begitu ngerti, karena biasanya gue main real time strategi yang kayak mode Starcraft dan Warcraft, yang simple ya, kayak yang namanya real time banget, kayak bikin bangunan, dari bangunan tuh bikin prajurit, terus prajurit kumpulin, clash ya, perang. Kalau seri Total War tuh kan agak ini ya, agak beda. Gak semerta-merta hanya bikin bangunan terus prajurit perang gitu ya. Tapi ada sisi diplomasi ya, ada sisi di mana teman-teman harus mengatur wilayah ya, ngelihat tetangga kiri kanan, dan itu kan dulu gue belum ngerti, jujur ya. Belum ngerti. Nah, seiring berjalannya waktu, gue main Total War yang Shogun kedua, abis itu gue main yang Napoleon. Napoleon juga gue belum begitu ngerti waktu itu. Nah, bener-bener tune ini yang waktu rilis seri yang Three Kingdom. Kan gue penggemar beratnya Dinasti Warrior tuh. Jadi pas Total War ini rilis seri yang Three Kingdom, wah gue kayak apa ya, kayak dreams come true banget. Tunggu-tunggu itu lah, kayak anjir ini Three Kingdom gitu dah. Sejak itu gue heavy main Total War dan ngelirik Total War yang lain. Kayak sekarang tuh gue lagi lirik 2, kalau nggak Warhammer 3, Troy ya. Cuma Three Kingdom sih jadi satu-satunya seri yang gue mainin banget ya. Gue enjoynya karena gini, ya simply karena gue udah familiar sama karakternya. Lagi-lagi dari Dynasty Warrior, thanks to Dynasty Warrior ya, gue familiar sama karakternya. Jadi waktu gue mainin karakternya di Three Kingdom tuh bener-bener tune in banget, kerasa oh iya bener loh karakternya tuh begini, oh ceritanya emang begini gitu. Three Kingdom. Nah, kalau yang Troy itu gue lirik karena gue sendiri kan pecinta mitologi, khususnya mitologi Yunani ya, kayak Greek ya, Zeus, Hades, Poseidon gitu gitulah. Karena dulu juga mainnya God of War. Nah, lagi-lagi ya, gara-gara God of War gue jadi lebih familiar dengan mitologinya Yunani. Nah, Troy itu kan pendekatan lebih ke mitologi, dan gue belakangan juga baru tahu ternyata Troy itu apa ya. Gue pikir Troy itu ya ada beneran, secara sejarah ada bangsa beneran. Tapi belakangan gue baru tahu Troy itu masih debatable ya, antara ada dan tiada gitu, kayak semacam legenda, deket-deket mitos lah gitu. Troy gue baru tahu kayak Troy itu ternyata nggak pure sejarah yang bener, enggak, tapi masih jadi perdebatan. Apakah nih perdebatan mengenai eksistensi bangsa Troy gitu. Itu yang kenapa gue yang lirik Troy itu, apalagi ada expansion mythological unit ya. Teman-teman bisa pakai Chimera, kalau nggak salah Chimera. Terus ada Griffon yang burung elang besar terbang-terbang. Ada Minotaur. Seingat gue waktu itu gue liat video di expansionnya ada mythological unitnya. Nah, terus gue ngelirik Warhammer 3 tuh simply karena itu adalah ya kalau terbarunya kan Pharaoh ya, cuma gue nggak lirik Pharaoh. Sebelum Pharaoh itu ya Total War Warhammer yang ketiga. Gue lirik simply karena Warhammer, gue mainin miniaturnya Warhammer ya, walaupun nggak yang era itu, era yang Total War-nya, tapi gue mainin, jadi gue cukup tahu. Dan banyak kalau gue lihat di YouTube kok ditanya top tiernya judul Total War yang paling oke apa sih? Warhammer 3 selalu masuk yang top tier. Nah ini 30 detik lagi ya, bilang reveal. Kita tungguin. Please, fingers crossed, semoga ada hal yang menarik nih dari reveal kali ini. Semoga agak mengecewakan. Semoga di usia yang seperempat abad ini ada hal-hal yang wow dari Total War ya. Ayolah yuk. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Total War 22 tahun. Apa nih?
Okay. Set and action.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Total War Anniversary Showcase.
The Kingdom coy, The Kingdom. Mana Attila? Kingdom? Warhammer? Gila ya. Pero. Napoleon. Warhammer. Shogun. Nice.
I'm Steve Coleman, Senior Community Manager across the Total War franchise. On behalf of everyone at Creative Assembly, we're thrilled to be here with you today to celebrate one truly monumental milestone, the 25th anniversary of this iconic strategy franchise.
Yes, iconic.
Throughout this year, we've been celebrating the legacy of Total War by shining a spotlight on each of the games that we've released since the year 2000. But today, we look forward to the future and the exciting next generation for the franchise.
Okay.
This showcase is your front row seat to everything we've been eagerly building behind the scenes.
Front row seat.
Across fantasy and historical Total War, we're working on a range of projects that span different eras, styles, and stages of development. And now, we finally get to share them with you. Whether it's long-awaited updates, bold new ideas, or glimpses into the future of Total War, there's something here for every kind of strategist. So without further ado, let's jump into things with a quick message from a true veteran of the studio. Someone who's had a part to play in almost every Total War game.
Thanks, Steve. I first walked through the doors of Creative Assembly in November 1999, hoping to land my next role in game development. Little did I know that during my interview, I would be shown an early glimpse of Shogun Total War. Over 25 years later, you've conquered history's most pivotal eras, witnessing the fall of Rome, surviving the turbulence of the Middle Ages, and establishing empires at the dawn of the modern world. You've also crossed dimensions into one of fantasy's most iconic settings,
Warhammer.
conquering the vast Warhammer world with legendary warriors in conflicts that defy reality. Thanks to your support, we get to continue pushing the boundaries of what Total War is capable of. So whether you're a fan of our history or fantasy titles, throughout it all, our aim is and has forever remained the same, ensuring everyone playing our games is excited to take one more turn.
Gue excited banget loh main Total War series tuh.
Now, what better place to begin the celebrations than with an early look at what's to come in Total War Warhammer.
Update-nya Warhammer ya, yang ketiga, oke?
This isn't just another update. It's the end of the world.
He's back. And this time, he's more determined than ever.
Growing up, Warhammer was easily one of my favourite pastimes. I fondly remember buying countless copies of White Dwarf, reading the battle reports within, and dreaming of what I might buy from the mailer at the back of each magazine. Like me, many of my teammates at Creative Assembly share the same deep love for Warhammer and the hobby that surrounds it. And nearly 10 years into developing content for this incredible series, the excitement is as strong as ever. Each new character, faction or creature we work on brings fresh energy to the team. The diversity of the lore ensures that every faction is distinct in its design, filled with rich stories and larger-than-life personalities. It's that variety and depth that keeps the project exciting for us, and it continues to be an amazing world to help bring to life. When we first set out to develop this series, our aim was to do something that no other Warhammer game had done before, to create a definitive strategy game experience that spanned the four corners of this amazing fantasy world, with the aim of including as much of Games Workshop's iconic lore, characters, creatures, and key events as possible. It's certainly been a journey of a lifetime for us, one that we've loved sharing with you and hearing your experiences of forging empires, felling enemies, and venturing to the darkest corners of the Warhammer world. But we aren't ready for it to end just yet. Next year, we need you to join the forces of Order, Chaos, or the Undead for a war that will determine the fate of this world.
Ini versi baru ya, Undead ya. Maksudnya, gue kalau di game-nya taunya Soul Blight Grave Lord, nama faction yang nggak salah, yang yang tulang-tulang itu juga nggak tahu. Ini tulang-tulang kah? Oh, Sire Bone Reaper atau apapun namanya gue lupa. Oke, ini faksi baru yang Warhammer ya. Vampir, oke, gue tahu vampir. Soul Blight Grave Lord. Apakah itu?
Witness my ascension. The world is ending, and I shall reign over oblivion. Come to me, and for eternity Citra does not serve. Citra rules. So be it. I am death incarnate.
I am death incarnate. Gila.
This world will kneel.
Siapa dia? Jujur gue gak tahu sih. Teman-teman ada yang tahu komen ya. Lords of the End Times. Oke. Dia ada update baru nih ya dari Total War Warhammer yang ketiga.
That's right. Nagash has arisen.
Nagash,
and he's
yeah,
bringing the
Nagash.
apocalypse with him. He and his undead legions are finally invading Total War Warhammer in summer 2026 with the Lords of the End Times pack. And he's not coming alone either. 3 other iconic legendary lords from the End Times will be joining the fight, along with terrifying new units, devastating mechanics, and lore-inspired objectives. And yes, we've got a brand new free legendary lord for everyone to enjoy. For those who don't know, the End Times is basically the Warhammer Apocalypse, and it's the ultimate battle between the forces of good and evil. During this event, Archaon the Ever-Chosen leads the forces of Chaos in a final assault to destroy the world. But as the forces of destruction rise, legendary heroes and factions from across the world form uneasy alliances to resist annihilation. And as we announced earlier this year, Warhammer 1 and 2 owners can also join in on the action, as Immortal Empires is now accessible to all players who own one of the games from the trilogy. We're incredibly excited for our players to experience this content as we celebrate an amazing 10 years of working on this game.
Orang yang punya
Whether you're a veteran
game
or
1, 2,
returning
3
after
bisa
time
gabung.
away, there's never been a better moment to dive in. This isn't just another update, it's the end of the world.
Nagash isn't just a villain, he is the king of the undead. This is the ancient evil who turned Nehekara into a lifeless desert to claim dominion over the dead. His first attempt to extend that desert to the entire world failed, but he is back. And this time, he is more determined than ever. To bring that presence to life, we focused on making him feel truly imposing. As the greatest of all necromancers and wizards, he is a figure above politics and mortal concerns. He does not need to motivate anyone. He simply states what will happen. His goal from the beginning is clear: to turn the world into a land of the dead. His undead corruption spreads relentlessly as he claims lost power, seizing the Black Pyramid, gathering his scattered books, and raising armies that stir simply from his presence. And he doesn't come alone. Nagash can summon his Mortarchs by luring them from other factions. Arkhan the Black, for example, who abandons his Tomb King Thais to ride a Dread Abyssal and flood the world in deadly witchlight. Nagash's arrival brings not only doom, but a unique undead roster that draws from both the Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings, uniting ancient death and vampiric horror under one banner. From the crypts and catacombs rise ancient figures like Warlock Harkon, the ruthless Blood Knight whose blade has tasted the blood of kings. He is joined by Tomb Heralds, the internal guardians of Nehekaran royalty, and the towering Morghast Archai, created by Nagashi's own hand to hunt the souls of the defiant. And then there is the Khemric Titan, a colossal war construct that stomps and flies across the battlefield like a walking apocalypse. With all this in mind, Nagashi's goal remains unchanged. He seeks to reclaim enough power to choke the life from the world itself, binding all undead to his will in a single, world-ending ritual, as is his grand design.
Bringing the end times to Total War Warhammer meant more than adding new content. It meant reshaping the very fabric of the campaign map to reflect the devastation unleashed by a host of apocalyptic events. Depending on their choices, players will witness a Warhammer world transformed. Lush meadows now drawn in molten rivers from volcanic eruptions. Earthquakes split the land into colossal fissures, rendering cities into ruins beyond repair. Craters from warp-fueled meteors scar the terrain, and entire continents may be left barren. The campaign map has never felt so apocalyptic and alive, and we're thrilled for players to shape their own vision of it. Of course, such devastation means new battlefields. Our team has crafted epic new maps to reflect the chaos. Players can expect battles fought within the sunken ground of an earthquake fissure, with lava pouring from all sides, fighting at the very edge of an erupting volcano, or in giant craters created from warpstone meteor showers. It's nothing short of the monumental destruction only the end times could bring. We've really tried to make these key moments in the lore as immersive to play through as possible. One of the most haunting new settlement locations is Nagashazar, the dread fortress of Nagash himself. With its towering necromantic architecture, glowing skulls, and eerie green witchlight, it's a place where death reigns eternal. The environment team have poured their passion into crafting a map that feels otherworldly, so let's take a brief look at it in action.
Oh, ini gameplay footage-nya kah? Jadi dia ngasih peta baru gitu ceritanya ya. Gak cuma nambah faction tapi ada perubahan di petanya juga. Katanya petanya lebih menggambarkan apokaliptik ya. Karena ini judul End of Times.
Allowed chasms to bleed it. Life failed it. This world dies.
Jadi gersang gitu petanya.
My domain.
Oke.
Hello there. I'm Lore Master of Sotek. You may be familiar with me from a Twitch and YouTube channel and other stuff where I talk about and focus on Warhammer Fantasy lore and literature, and some other things. And today I'm going to be serving you as the Herald of the End Times. But I'm not alone, because I'm joined by Rich, Victor, and Todor, who you are likely familiar with at this point. And today we're going to be chatting about the Lords of the End Times. So to start us off,
Ends of Times,
is this really the end for Total War Warhammer? Like, is this the final thing, which a lot of people have feared is going to be the case?
No, absolutely not. This is just a moment in the Warhammer lifetime, and there's going to be more content still to come after this.
More content ya kata teman-teman
That
katanya.
is what I very much like to hear. So, getting into the actual content itself, what is the End Times going to be bringing to the game that's going to change our experiences? For people that are familiar with Immortal Empires and have played hundreds of campaigns, what is the End Times specifically going to be doing to shake up the experience?
So, first of all, we're bringing a set of characters. One of them we'll discuss a bit later here. And there is another significant update that comes to the Immortal Empires that aims to bring the End Times to your campaign while respecting the rules of the sandbox. So, what we want to try and achieve is make the later stages of your campaign more interesting, like keep the choices impactful, keep the stakes high. And we're doing that by introducing end-time scenarios, which you might think are a bit like the current existing crisis, but they're different from them in various ways. Like, for example, an end-time scenario comes in phases. So there will be a build-up, there will be phases of actions, and at the end there is a culmination battle. Well, the entire scenario is resolved. And you might be able to overcome the challenge, the end times. You might be able to survive, or you might fail, and you might have to live with the consequences, or not live at all. An example of such a end time scenario is related to the most powerful necromancer in the world, who at some point might suddenly decide that he wants to exert his will over everything that has died, but to do that, he needs to make everyone dead. So this is something that you need to face and overcome. In addition to that, there are some significant changes while the end time scenario takes place to the visuals of the campaign and in battle, and also to the audio. So you have all this different atmosphere related to Nagash or perhaps Archeon.
Speaking of that particular big man himself, while today we are going to be celebrating quite a bit and giving the great necromancer his due, as he always deserves, ultimately he's kind of interrupting someone else's party, which is the one that kicks off the end times and ends up ending it. Archeon himself, is there going to be anything new, anything exciting that fans of Archeon can be looking forward to with the end times?
I must admit, while I admire Nagash, Archeon is truly the closest one to my heart, and I love playing campaigns with him and uniting the forces of chaos and raining destruction upon the hapless rest of the world. So we are doing new things for Archeon. One of those is we're trying to refresh his entire experience by introducing a narrative feature that aims to put the player into the shoes and boots and mount of the 13th ever chosen. So this will be the story of how you, as Archeon, in your campaign, you bring about the end times. And in addition to that, we really want to update the visuals of Archeon's model, so he receives the proper visual quality that the 13th ever chosen deserves.
Well, it's excellent to know that Archeon's dressing up for the occasion. He needs to. It's technically his affair. He needs to look the part, so that's great. But ultimately, we're not really here to talk about him. As much as we all love him, he's a bit old news. We're here for the big man, the big, great necromancer himself, the father of all of our favorite undead. What is Nagash gonna be doing for Total War? Oh my goodness, what is he going to be bringing to the game? Clearly, a lot of teal and destruction and death from the looks of things.
Nagash is the supreme lord of undead, and he would be the ultimate necromancer in our game. He's all about power, dark, forbidden, lost and reclaimed, power to end the world. In battle, he will also be able to command a vast roster of different undead units from the currently existing ones and some new ones specifically unique to him. And on the campaign map, he will spread death across the land because he's not interested in conquest. He wants to reshape the world in his image, making it a lifeless desert. This is his ambition to rule over everything because this way they're obedient and subservient to him. And we want to give this power fantasy to the player. It's not that you are a hero in this case, you are the end. And this is the power fantasy drenched in the dark tone of Warhammer. When playing with Nagash, you will be having these mechanics that allow you to construct necropolises over where vibrant jungles used to be, and the change is permanent there. So this is how we imagine Nagash to be.
Permanent? Oh, okay.
Well, if you defeat the faction like in totality, you'll be able to revert some of that.
Sounds pretty difficult to get rid of, but such is the power of Nagash. But as a powerful wizard, is there going to be anything special magic-wise, like maybe something new?
Yes, he comes with his own spell lore, inspired by the tabletop, and there'll be new spells that are all unique to him, and we'll be making them in a way that plays in the spirit of Total War. So not a direct translation, but inspired and certainly the flavor of the tabletop.
So we hear a lot from beloved and very trustworthy naysayer Manfred von Karstein that Nagash is weak. He's been saying that for years at this point. What is Nagash going to be bringing to the game that sets him apart from our other undead, our vampire counts, Tomb Kings, etc.?
I can give you one thing. He's going to be bringing all of that good stuff that you just mentioned together. So he's going to be in command of the vampire counts, the vampire coast, and the Tomb Kings. He is the proper puppet master of them all, which I think is going to be a lovely, nod back to what we all enjoyed in Warhammer in the past, having control of all of this undeath. He's also then, as we were talking about before, having that corruption element, where once he's seeded himself into this world, he's going to kill everything off, and nothing's going to be able to come back from it. So he's going to be super exciting to play.
That is pretty exciting, but while Nagash, he always stands above the great god of death, he does have to delegate to somebody. Is there any other kind of features or minions or anyone what is he going to be relying upon to bring the world to ultimate silence?
So, first of all, it's important to say that unlike other undead factions that are comprised of different characters with different complicated relations, Nagash's faction is Nagash, his race is Nagash, everything revolves around Nagash and his will and his ultimate ambition to dominate over a dead world. In order to achieve that, he relies on his corruption, he relies over all the variety of undead units that he has under his command. He also relies on the presence of the Black Pyramid. Both on the campaign and in battle, you will witness and you will command the Black Pyramid around the world. And in addition to that, he has also relies and demands the support of his Mortarchs, who are these special characters that are obedient to him and serve his will. And in the game, we're representing, I believe, all of them, Victor?
All 9 of them. The ones that were present in the End Times books.
So the canon ones, very fun.
The canon ones, so you can expect that when you play Nagash, they'll be doing their own things that are currently in Total War, those of them that are already there. And in time, when you grow strong enough, you'll be able to exert your will and call them to you. You will be able to choose in what sequence in what order you summon them. Some will be easier, some will be harder to dominate. And you'll be able to make them stronger in the process. Like when they become his lieutenants, they don't do it out of pure adoration. Some of them do, like Arkan, but others are just tempted by power. So when they become Mortarchs, they will receive new abilities, some stat boosts. Some of them get special mounts, like the Dread Abyssals, that will allow them to ride into battle. And they're also, like, when they join you, they'll be like bringing their lens with you, so to speak, but you'll be draining them of life in the way Nagash does with everything. So,
coming with a proper upgrade for those Mortarchs, which is very exciting, and probably some goodies I imagine the other undead will be looking to as well, when it makes sense.
Absolutely, we can expect that all these new toys that we are adding, where appropriate, will be receiving other factions like vampire counts will be receiving access to them.
That's all really exciting. I can't wait to just collect the full set of them. For those of us that have that kind of completionist itch, there's something very nice about having that full little grouping under Nagash's claw. But speaking of other just exciting things that are going to be happening with the End Times and/or Nagash, what would you say for you personally is going to be the most exciting thing that's coming with all of this exciting new DLC and content?
Well, one itch I've been wanting to scratch is to get the Realm of Chaos battlefields actually into Immortal Empires. As you know, they don't feature within that map at the moment. So this is a new way in which we want you to experience those larger-than-life, colourful battlefields that the Realms of Chaos each have. And there'll be ways for you to transport yourself to those battlefields, to have those epic battles with the adversaries of the demons and the light, and have a lot of fun there and bring much more life and flair to Immortal Empires.
So having those maps where we're fighting in the realm of Slanesh and Nurgle and all those horrible but so beloved dark gods.
Exactly that.
Well, just to build up a bit on that, like for me as a player, like some of the best battlefield maps we've done is in the Realm of Chaos, and now that Immortal Empires have become the definitive way to experience Total War Warhammer, I'm kind of missing on those, so I'm glad we're adding them in. For me personally, the big thing with this DLC is cataclysmic events, or what we internally call devastation, which you can see around.
Oh, is that why Lustria and everything is burning and on fire horribly?
We wanted to show the change in the world in a visual way that is more dramatic than what we currently can do with just corruption. You know, corruption changes a bit of the environment, but not to this extent. So we'd like, with End Times scenario, for really truly epic, apocalyptic things to happen, like volcanoes erupting, fissures opening up, like bottomless chasms, and meteors falling down, splintered from the Chaos Moon. And we would like that to change the campaign map rather permanently, and to provide different gameplay there once that change happens. For certain, it would be triggered in some cases by the game. In some instances, the AI factions will be able to wield it like a super weapon. In some cases, the player themselves will be able to use them. But there will be examples in the lore we would like to really show visually, and also with music. We are writing bespoke music for those events. Like when a certain endgame scenario happens, you as a player will know you're in this moment that things are changing. Like the visuals of the campaign map will change, the mood there, the music, and just the color palette and the special effects around the campaign map will be different. And also in the battle maps, there will be different skyboxes, like when the Chaos Moon Sleep is hanging low, close to the world, you'll be able to see that on battle maps. And all these new images and visuals we hope to really show the End Times.
Yeah, we got lava and wildfires and craters and pits, and so this will be affecting actual game. It's not just cosmetic. This will be affecting actual gameplay on the campaign.
Yes. On the campaign map, the provinces will work in a different way after a cataclysmic events has happened to them, and there will be also different battle maps.
Lava api itu akan punya efek sendiri di battle mapnya.
No.
Realms of Chaos battlefields and devastation is cool. I really admire them. What I'm most excited about personally is the narrative chains that we're preparing for the new lords we're introducing, and also some of the existing lords, to be perfectly frank. And I'm really, really curious and excited as a Total War player to see how we will be able to tell the story of Nagash's rise to power and his domination over the world, while still retaining the sandbox and retaining that player agency and the player choice.
So regardless of which character you're picking, you'll have the ability to get involved in these storylines of like the rise of Nagash and stuff, even though you're playing such and such way on the other side of the planet. You can, if you want, you can get really involved with these storylines.
Well, yeah, if you're not playing as Nagash, it's very likely that you will have to survive the rise of power of Nagash. Whereas if you play as Nagash, you will be the one that rises to power step by step while you are doing your conquest and your spread of corruption and the extinguishing of life around you.
Excellent. So for a lot of us players, this is incredibly exciting, and there's a lot of changes and just wild things happening, and everything's quite literally on fire. And although we've touched a little bit on it, just to be kind of clear when it comes to the End Times as an experience, this is still focusing on that sandbox experience of Total War Warhammer. It's not purely a narrative, but it has narrative aspects, but it's still sticking to the core fundamentals.
Yeah, as you know, Total War is a storytelling machine, and we want players to be able to still tell their own stories through the sandbox nature that we offer. So with the End Times now featuring in Immortal Empires, it's going to be exactly that. You can go ahead and, as we talked about earlier, play as Archaon and destroy this world, end it completely. But on the flip side, we want to let you have those different stories, also things that maybe didn't happen, but you'd like to think how they might have played out, with Nagash taking over the world and bringing death to it, or whatever else you can think of for that matter.
I know many people who are going to be hopping right into Karl Franz Saves the Day.
Hope so.
We're exploring different apocalyptic scenarios that could have ended the world in the canon, but didn't, because we all know Chaos won. But we're looking for other what-if possibilities that could have happened.
Well, that is all extremely exciting stuff in my very, very biased but professional opinion. But beyond the End Times, is there anything else we all can be looking forward to for Total War Warhammer?
So, one very important thing that we're all quite excited about to announce is that with the release of the Lord of the End Times pack, you no longer need to own Warhammer 1 or Warhammer 2 or Warhammer 3 to experience the Immortal Empires. You can purchase just one of the packs and you will gain access to the Immortal Empires, where you can play with what you have purchased against everything else that's in the companion. So you can purchase just Nagash from your shirt, and you can play as Nagash from your shirt in the Immortal Empires and extinguish the life in this doomed world.
So Nagash Stan can just come in, buy just this, get whole Immortal Empires, and just go crazy and then be like, job done.
Exactly. This is an exciting moment for us all, because we're lowering the entry point barrier for all of the players. So we're hoping to introduce new players that want to experience all this magnificent spectacle that Immortal Empires and Warhammer 3 Total War is.
Well, that is just amazing. I'm so excited to see all of this come to fruition, all of your incredible hard work. Thank you so much to Rich, Victor, and Todor for joining me here to discuss the End Times and what all it's bringing to us in the future, which is just, oof, can't wait. Thank you everyone so much at home for joining us. We hope that you had a good time, and we will see you around.
Okay. Jadi
Total War has a long and storied history. And alongside the game announcements we're sharing with you today, we'd like to reveal more about the latest evolution of the game engine that will be powering our future ambitions. To give you more of an insight into what's going on, I'm joined by Ellie and Roberto from our core technology team. Guys, do you want to do a quick introduction? Maybe Ellie, just tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Ellie Corlander, and I'm the technical art director on Total War.
Perfect, thank you. And Roberto?
I'm Roberto Girali, and I'm the core technology director for Total War.
Perfect. Thank you, guys, and thank you for joining me for this chat today.
Thank you.
So for those who maybe don't know, like me, what is an engine? What does the engine do for Total War?
So it's the tools, it's the toolbox really of the game developers. It's the graphics renderer, it's core gameplay kind of components that the teams build upon to make our game experiences unique. It's the animation system. There's a lot of core features that all of Total War games actually benefit from, and we build upon those in our unique products.
Why is Total War's engine so important?
Well, the engine is the foundation for all our titles, and when we saw the incredible lineup ahead of us, well, we decided that we needed to level up our technology to support these fantastic visions. So it's quite an exciting challenge. We're a small team, we use proprietary tech, but we're really excited to bring something new to Total War. And so today we're happy to reveal the new iteration, the new evolution of the game engine, Warcore. And we'll be happy to talk about it today.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the current version of our engine. We started evolving that from 2009, and all the products you've seen since then. We've been iterating on that engine, but we realized that with the lineup of games we had and the features we wanted to deliver, we really had to redesign some of those foundations.
So this is taking what Total War is at its core and then taking it to that next level, like you said, leveling up, right? What does this mean for Total War players? What can they expect to see and experience in future Total War games?
We really wanted to upgrade the type of visuals you could see in the game.
Visualnya di-upgrade?
Keep, competitive with what everyone else is seeing in other games at the moment. Total War games are rendering so much on screen at the same time. You've got VFX, characters,
banyak orang renderingnya banyak,
massive
betul.
battlefields, so many characters.
Banyak karakter, banyak army yang di-render. Yes.
We really had to rethink, how the techniques we used to render some of that stuff, because we wanted to upgrade the fidelity everywhere. Some of those things include new lighting techniques, dynamic shadowing. We've improved our screen space ambient occlusion, which means you're going to see much more fidelity in the self-shadowing of models on the terrain. Gives it much more realistic feel. The meshes and the textures now, because of improved rendering techniques, we're able to put more fidelity in those things and not compromise on that performance of gameplay. We also have looked at new rendering techniques for VFX, so where you see projectiles, there will be high fidelity because we've now got a new ribbon technology, which means we're not going to have so many overlapping particles. This means it's more performant and means we can get crisper kind of projectile visuals.
Nice.
Yeah, our players may be familiar with Warscape, which is our renderer, and we've created a new version in Warcore powered by DirectX 12.
So it's all going to contribute towards the overall immersion of what our battles are like, I guess, as well. And does this apply to campaign as well? So these kind of like new lighting abilities and things like that we'll have in the game, will people see that across both campaign and battle?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, yes, they will. It'll be across the renderer is kind of like a layer on top of the entire game engine, so you will see improvements in all areas.
Awesome.
On the battle side, we've actually decided to integrate Havoc and the physics system into our gameplay. It means that the buildings are more dynamically destructible. You can then use that as part of your strategic gameplay to
Company of Heroes loh.
Pathfind to
Jadi
new
building
areas of the
destroy
map.
itu gak cuma ngilang tapi kayak
And the battle AI will
gitu.
also respond to this, so we've rehauled the battle AI to be also able to utilize all these new advancements and be more strategic as well.
So you can use these like destructible environments to your tactical advantage, but also your enemies are going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, the battle AI now, it takes more it takes more of an advantage of reinforcements and more dynamic abilities as well. So it's really leveled up.
Awesome. And what about campaign? Are we going to see a lot of advancements in that area as well?
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into campaign. We've rewritten it to be modular so that each different game can really use these building blocks to create custom, amazing experiences. And with this, like the campaign AI goes hand in hand. So that will also evolve and use what we call a forward model. So it will simulate future states of the game to make better strategic decisions.
What does this mean for animations then?
So we've actually rewritten a lot of our animation system. It's now a graph-based node system, which means we can layer animation behaviors and create more variety and fidelity. Some of the things the players may see is more complex movement like strafing and more complex vehicle movement, something that we've been challenged with our previous version, but we wanted to do more and bring more to the gameplay.
Yeah, the team has really done a great job, I feel, with our new animation system. And there's something else, right?
Yes, of course, with Total War,
ngejanjiin animasi akan lebih kompleks ya.
We wanted to make this more visceral, more realistic. What we've done is rewritten some of parts of the dismemberment system, so you'll see more dismemberment, limbs popping off, interacting with terrain, and sitting on the terrain, and very gory.
I feel sorry for the mocap actors that.
We didn't chop them off.
Oh, okay. That's a relief. We've talked a lot about all these pretty awesome advancements that are going to be coming to Total War in the future. But Total War, of course, has a 25-year legacy on PC. Does this new engine allow us to look further afield in regards to the hardware we develop for?
Oh yeah, we've been wanting for a bit now to expand our horizons and to bring our franchise to players regardless of the hardware they use. So we're quite happy that the new engine also allows us to take our future titles on PlayStation and Xbox as well as PC. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Console,
so
expand,
we can finally allow console players to experience Total War.
Yeah.
But we're still going to be, of course, maintaining that same focus on the deep strategy ethos that we encompass, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to remain true to our soul. So we're not having like a knee-jerk reaction to put in our games on console. We absolutely want to. We love the Total War formula and the complexity, the depth, and this is something that we want to keep regardless of the hardware. So PC players, I don't think they'll see any major changes to the product they love because we love it as well. Going on console is really a way to expand also to other players.
Great. What are we aiming to achieve with Warcore then? What's the goal of this new engine?
Yeah, we wanted to give Total War the strongest foundation it ever had. But really here, we wanted to look at the future. So the engine now is at its infancy, so it will evolve and get better and better over time. But even now, we feel it's the most powerful foundation we've ever had. We are thinking long term. So players will see over time more and more improvements coming to it.
Yeah, like Roberto says, it's in its infancy now, but you will see improvements in terms of the rendering, in terms of things like destruction and all those interesting new features. But we want to build upon those in the releases we've got to come. We've got plans to keep iterating on those features.
Yeah, I think players will already see something great, but you're really excited about what they can see even 2, 3, 10 years from now, and that's what we're trying to build, yeah. And it's also something we've built for our staff, so to give them more powerful tools, to be able to create even better games. Streamline our internal pipelines, make them more efficient.
Okay, we really wanted to improve the developer experience. So we've worked on like unified tools and unified experience and workflows and improving that experience all around.
Good for the players and good for the developers as well. It's a win-win. Amazing. Well, thank you both for joining me for this chat today. Up next, we are going to be taking a look at what's to come for our historical players.
Historical, yeay! Saatnya historical, yeay! Jadi fantasi udah, ngebahas engine baru udah, sekarang historical. Ini favorit gue nih. Historical.
Hi,
Yay.
I'm Pavel. It's incredible to be standing in front of you today, not just as a developer, but as a lifelong fan. I've been playing Total War for 25 years, first discovering the franchise through Shogun, before becoming completely captivated by Medieval. That passion led me to join Creative Assembly in 2005, where I've been fortunate to contribute to most of our historical Total War releases, from Medieval 2 all the way up to Free Kingdoms. And today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here as the game director of our next major historical title.
Apa nih?
The franchise was created not only because of our love of strategy games, but from a deep love of history. From the very beginning, our goal has been to bring the past to life in immersive, authentic worlds, giving players a chance to relive and reshape it in a way only Total War can. We know that same passion for history lives in our community. You've been asking for a return to the roots of what made historical Total War so special, and that's exactly what we're setting out to do. So today, we're proud to reveal the next chapter in Total War's historical legacy. It's a game we've dreamt of making for a very long time. This is more than just a new game. It's the rebirth of historical Total War.
Rebirth, okay? Oh nggak, ada lilinnya. Ini nggak mungkin Perang Dunia Kedua. Oh, Britania?
Right. And yet our realm is far from holy.
Arthur?
The armies we command paint red the map.
Why fight when hearts and minds are easily
Arthur?
swayed?
Bro.
The realm is ours only when our enemies lie dead.
Patience and time will beget our gain.
We are stability.
Dignity.
And authority.
We bear the weight of pain. And of defeat. Greatness shall ever define us.
And we shall never
be forgotten. So,
how will you shape your realm?
Britania?
How will
you make history?
make
History.
make history?
Medieval 3.
Yes,
Wow.
Medieval 3 is real. So many of you have long desired a sequel to this special series, and today we're thrilled to confirm that it's in early pre-production.
Yes.
The Medieval series holds a special place in the hearts of many, and this game will be both a tribute to its predecessors
Top
and
tier
a
loh
bold step
Medieval tuh,
forward.
jangan salah loh.
We're drawing direct inspiration
Gue belum
from
pernah
what
main,
made
tapi
those
kalau
past
lihat YouTube
games
masuk top
unforgettable,
tier list terus.
and for it to herald the rebirth of historical Total War. Our vision for the game is ambitious but clear. We want Medieval 3 to be the definitive Total War experience set in the medieval era. A game where you don't just relive history, you rewrite it. In gameplay terms, that means choosing your realm, forging your legacy, and altering the course of history with a level of player agency we have never achieved before in a Total War title. Now, we are in early pre-production with Med3, and we're announcing early to take you on our development journey with us, where we can, via blogs and other updates. We've never announced something this early before, and we are excited to engage with you throughout this journey. We have started to build the foundation for Medieval 3, and over time, we will be able to share more about the game as it comes to life. There's a lot more to come, and we can't wait to share it with you. So let's dive in and meet some of the team.
Hi, I'm Cody Bonds, and I'm excited to be here today with the team making Total War Medieval 3. I've been covering Total War on YouTube for a number of years now. I have a degree in archaeology from media, and I can't wait to meet you guys. So can you introduce yourselves?
Hey Cody, my name is Leif. I'm the creative director on Total War Medieval 3.
And I'm Luke. I'm a senior game designer on Total War Medieval 3.
People have been asking for Medieval 3 since probably the day after Medieval 2 released. What does it feel like to finally announce this game that people have been looking forward to for so long?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting, also a bit intimidating, but really exciting. And, in fact, this is really the game that a lot of us came to join CA to really be part of. I was dreaming about making this game one day. I remember when I joined in 2016 first, I was crossing my fingers and hoping that this would be, please let it be Med 3. So this is it, right? This is our magnum opus. Over the years, of course, we toyed with the idea of making this game. It really feels like now is the right time for it. Medieval 3 is, of course, the sequel to Medieval 2, but it also follows on, a long history now of Total War games, 20 years since, where we learned a lot about making Total War games, and we're really excited to carry this into Medieval 3. So expectations are high. Expectations are really high for us as developers, for us as fans of the series as well, right? And expectations are high in the community out there. And that was actually one of the main inspirations of announcing this earlier than we've ever done, to bring the community on this journey with us, to speak to our fans what this game is all about.
We're all really hyped about making the game. As Leif said, we're all fans. We've been playing for years. I have a background in medieval history, so for me it's a dream come true. And I think that's true for most of the people on the project for all different reasons. So there's loads of excitement in the studio at the moment.
If you're drawing on all this excitement, what is the vision for the game itself?
We want Medieval 3 to be all about rewriting history. And Total War has always been about painting the map, your color, of course, and Medieval 3 will have that as a key element still, but it's no longer the single most important element of your game. Much more ways of how we want players to be able to reach through the window to the world and influence the world around them, and add more ways of how the world speaks back to the player and acknowledges the actions that the player has taken. What Kingdom of England will you create in your campaign? Playing as the Holy Roman Empire, will you be able to unite the empire, or will you perhaps accelerate the fragmentation and form an early Kingdom of Germany? And it's not just about your own realm, it's also about what happens to all the realms in the world. In your game, if the Byzantine Empire falls, what will the consequence be? And what about the world itself and the people that live in it? What about the dynamics of urbanization? What about the medieval estates? How will the world develop? So we want Medieval 3 to be that ultimate canvas to tell your own story and to rewrite history.
So you're talking about the medieval era, but that can be quite wide or small era depending on who you ask. So when you say medieval, what do you mean in this game? What's the setting?
I'll say we haven't fixed a start date yet, but we know that like Medieval 2, we want to set the game in the sort of high to late medieval period,
Medieval
12th to
tuh
15th
katanya
century, maybe a little bit either side.
timelinenya
And
cukup
I've always felt like
expansif
the
loh.
high and a little bit of the late period is really the most recognizably true medieval period. It has all the stuff that you might expect to find, like knights and castles. It has crusades, plague, of course. There's the big names like Barbarossa, Saladin, Eleanor of Aquitaine, and of course, Richard the Lionheart. In the east, you have these rising powers, the Ayyubids, the Mamluks, the Mongols, and later the Ottomans. And then in the west, there are these sort of slow and steady kingdoms forming and gaining power, like France and Castile. And then in Central Europe, the Holy Roman Empire is mired by civil war, and the Italian free city-states are forming these sort of bullish trade empires and stalking the Mediterranean. And then there's the sort of somehow still heartbreaking fall of the Byzantines, the East Romans, first at the hand of the Christians in the Fourth Crusade, and then later defeat by the Ottomans. So it's a really rich and vibrant period, and I think it's a great setting for us. I like to see it sort of as a chaotic world where people are trying to establish some sort of order onto it. So rulers are trying things out. They might be new things or old things. That could be an economic system or a military strategy or a political gambit. And they don't really know if it's going to work, but they try it anyway. And I find that really compelling. You see things like brotherhood and oaths of fealty, even chivalry, creating these sort of bonds that hold society together. So it's also a world of promise. And those promises are set in the context of people's personal ambitions. So the result is often just carnage, and what better setting for a total war game?
It sounds like you're talking about the realm almost like as it's a person itself, not focusing on individuals, but as managing the whole kingdom.
Yeah, I think for us it was really important to lean into the fact of that long time period and the progression and the amount of change that happened in the period. One thing we discussed was how in that time period, in the medieval time, there wasn't really the notion of nationhood or nations or states. But really, at the end of the medieval era, we are entering that realm of possibilities where you have something like nations forming. So it's really about these medieval realms finding themselves and defining themselves in that era. And it seemed like a great backdrop to give players that authorship, not just in a single lifetime of a ruler, but really in a line of succession that leads through the entire era.
And there are these great dynasties to draw inspiration from, whether it's the Plantagenets or the Capetians. And I think one of the really nice things about this project is going back to total wars that run across decades and centuries rather than a smaller or shorter period of time. It gives us a lot of space to talk about these grand, sort of slow-moving historical processes, as well as the really sort of spiky moments, the drama and the excitement of the events that happen.
One thing we sometimes talk about is how we want the game ultimately to feel very different in the early parts of your game versus the end. You know, we want to create an experience where 150 years in, you look back at the achievements and maybe failures and tragic moments and traumatic turn of events as part of your game, how the world has changed, partially under your feather, but also partially just through the events of the sandbox, which is really compelling for a Total War game.
You gentlemen have both obviously done a tremendous amount of research for this game and can draw upon that at will. But how will that history help inform the gameplay experience?
I'll go bold here and say I don't think there is gameplay without history. Whether you're making a fantasy game or a sci-fi game or historical, chances are that part of that draws a parallel to the past. So that might be a cool weapon or a unit or a whole feature set, but it probably is inspired from history. And I think that's what makes those gameplay features feel really fun to play. It's satisfying. They feel believable, they're grounded, they're real, even if they're a little bit fantastical. I think one of the cool things about working on a medieval game is that we have access to all these great sources, these manuscripts, these treaties and agreements, pipe rolls, artifacts, or the work of other historians that we can really draw on. And that directly goes into the content of the game. So that might be the weapons or the armor, the buildings, and we all love it when a TV show or a game gets the details just right. And I think we also kind of love it a little bit when they get it wrong too. But I think we can say that we want to make the most authentic Total War we've ever made. And that means going beyond the content. It's also about looking at historical relationships. So when you play our game, we want you to feel like you're in medieval shoes, that the problems that you're facing are the problems medieval people faced, and that the tools you have to solve those problems are the same tools that they had as well. So we look at the core systems of the game, like the economy or the recruitment or characters, buildings, and we think, okay, why did these work in the way that they did in the medieval period? Taking recruitment as an example, when you raise an army in our game, we want it to feel truly medieval. And where did medieval armies come from? Well, there aren't really standing armies, like in the modern day at least. It's probably more from oaths of fealty, from vassals to their lords. So we want you to feel like you're raising your banners, like you're mustering your forces or summoning the prince electors. And of course, it's not a PhD thesis, it's a game, and the fun definitely comes first. But if we can inspire people to look into history because of our game and maybe learn a thing or two, I think that would be great. And I got into history because of Total War, so it would be great to replay the favor.
Yeah, I think we ultimately set out to make the ultimate medieval strategy sandbox, right? And for that, the simulation of the medieval world is really important. And like Luke was saying, the representation of the forces and dynamics, that's really key. It's absolutely important to get, the armor right and the details on the helmets, but really capturing the forces and dynamics that moved the world at the time and making sure the player feels them and interacts with them. That's really our key goal.
There's so much you guys are juggling to get right in here, and there's so many cool elements that clearly are building on things from the past and looking at them in completely new ways. But what's the one key element you're really looking at to focus on here for your team?
I think that's a really interesting one to pin down because there's so much excitement and passion in the studio and team for Medieval 3. There's a great anecdote where we were sharing some concept art with the wider Total War team, and the concept art was presenting some ideas around the upgrades of armor and how better techniques and more expertise in armor creation could be represented visually. And I got this huge message from someone not actually working on the game, explaining to me the details of blackening and how it was done and what the benefits of it were. So a lot of passion in the wider Total War team that we want to draw from. But if it comes down to one thing, I think it would be to create that sandbox, to really bring the medieval world to life, to give you the option to interact with this world, feel the forces that were at play at the time, and really feel like this is truly a medieval game where you get to rewrite history the way you want.
And that's Total War Medieval 3. Thank you to the development team for coming out today and revealing this truly astounding game that I think we're all excited to see be developed in the future. Obviously, it's early days, but we can look forward to news updates as they come out and hopefully play a game where you can truly rewrite history.
Oke, Medieval 3 ya. Wow, menjanjikan tuh kalau dari pemaparan mereka ya. Masih early production tapi kita tunggu aja berikutnya.
Total War is like nothing else.
Working on Total War is definitely an experience.
It's different every day.
It's never boring.
Challenging. Working on Total War is an absolute dream come true.
It's a franchise that's so close to my heart.
I like to solve problems, and Total War throws endless amounts of design problems at you.
Working with people who are passionate about what they do and the world they're building makes it a really excellent place to be.
Coming into work where I get to write about the Crusades one minute and the fantasy apocalypse the next is like nothing else.
Making Total War games feels like just bringing that fantasy, that imagination to life.
And the games are always challenging, but the challenge is something that we love to tackle.
It's a franchise that has taken us to many, many different places, so nothing's ever the same.
It's really great to be part of something that means so much to so many people.
I don't think there's anything quite like it.
The fact it's 2, sometimes 3 massive games rolled into one.
It combines strategy gaming and real-time battles like no other game.
It's this unique mix that no real other game kind of does it the same.
You really kind of get that view as if you're a god looking at this world.
It's all interactable and you can manipulate everything in the world.
Also, it gives you that real immersion, so then you can
follow
that through line all the way down to an individual soldier and you're zooming in on a battlefield.
You feel like you're right in there with the troops, and then with the campaign side, you get a lot of the gameplay and the strategic side of elements of the campaign.
It's just a really cool, nice synergy that works really well.
So for me, what makes it special is the ability to bring history to life.
To bring players into so many different places, and not many other games can say that.
We have
people who are interested in history, in strategy, and of course, fantasy.
It's the ultimate time machine, a socio-economic war simulator that transports you back in time.
How does it feel to work on a game franchise that is 25 years old?
Exhausting.
It is crazy to think that it's 25 years since the first Total War game.
That's pretty special. 25 years is a long time.
It feels old. It makes me feel old.
Great to be part of something that's been here for this long.
It feels unbelievable and amazing. I never thought I would be part of Total War.
It's lovely to have been here for so long and seen our games develop, seen the tech develop.
We want to iterate and improve on aspects, but we are always keen to make sure we don't disappoint our fans, we don't change Total War too much.
But also we need to move forward and do new things and innovate.
So we have a responsibility to keep it true to what makes Total War so special, but also carry it to the future and keep delivering new epic experiences that are going to stand the test of time.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to be part of something that has such a long and lasting legacy.
And it's stood the test of time. It's one of those great franchises.
Few games get to celebrate that milestone, and this game happened to be something very special.
And it also feels like it's not just a milestone and it's getting older, it's just the beginning of something new and where we're going next.
We all together as a team bring it to the future.
And that almost brings us to the end of our anniversary showcase. And what a celebration it's been. 25 years ago, we set out to build a strategy experience unlike any other. What began as a single game has grown into a franchise full of unforgettable moments which have been shared by tens of millions of players around the world. Today, we've celebrated that legacy by announcing a return to one of the most beloved eras in Total War history with Medieval 3. And we're preparing for the Cataclysm with the Lords of the End Times DLC and the End Times update for Warhammer 3. Few games get to celebrate such a monumental milestone, but we're eager and excited to spend many more years with you all. When we say your support means the world to us, we mean it. Whether you're playing our games, watching our newest trailers, submitting bug feedback, or commenting Med3 when on every social post imaginable, all of this contributes to creating the bedrock for Total War's success. Finally, before we end today, we have one last thing to share.
Apa tuh? One last thing.
Hi everyone, I'm Attila, game director on the next major title being developed at Creative Assembly. Whilst we are not ready to unveil the project in all of its glory, it represents one of the most ambitious games we have ever worked on as a studio, and we can't wait to share it with you. We would like to invite you to tune in to the Game Awards on December 11th to watch the world premiere announcement trailer for our next Total War title.
11 Desember ya.
After that moment, we look forward to sharing more with you. Once again, from all of us today, thank you.
Wow. Jadi ternyata One Last Thing tuh adalah tunggu ya 11 Desember world premiere-nya. Gila sih Total War. Merinding loh gue, merinding loh coy. Gila ya. So, that's it ya. Jadi bagi teman-teman yang tadi mungkin overwhelmed dengan informasinya, gue recap aja. Pertama, ada update dari Total War Warhammer 3. Ya, ada karakter baru namanya Nagash. Basically Nagash ini adalah dia yang akan bisa bikin lu punya army dari berbagai faksi. Ya, Nagash terus dari namanya End of Times, Lords End of Times itulah ya. Nah, update itu nanti juga akan membawa pemain ke environment yang baru, campaign yang baru, beberapa mekanik yang baru, unit yang baru tentunya. Dan tadi ada kata-kata gini, dia akan menurunin entry barrier-nya bagi pemain baru khususnya ya. Karena nanti dengan adanya update ini, lu gak perlu lagi Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2, langsung Warhammer 3. Terus ambil yang Nagas kayak oke. Barrier-nya hilang, kayak gitu. Gue belum begitu paham maksudnya apa, tapi yang mereka point out adalah kalian sekarang nggak perlu lagi main koleksi 1 dan 2 gitu loh. Nggak perlu lagi kalau misalnya mau apa harus di 1, harus di 2 kayak gitu. Pokoknya satu paket aja beres. Itu pertama. Yang kedua adalah mereka mengenalkan tentang sistem engine baru mereka namanya Warcore. Jadi kalau dilihat tadi, Warcore itu mereka lebih berfokus kepada environment, fidelity, ya, bagaimana realisisme lingkungan atau environment itu dipengaruhi oleh efek-efek perang yang ada di peta gitu ya. Terus mereka juga ingin mengenhance complexity dari AI-nya. Jadi orang-orang yang nanti bergerak atau apapun komponen yang ada di map itu akan bergerak dengan lebih kompleks. Nggak lagi kayak orang-orang geraknya seragam gitu ya. Nggak, nanti masing-masing orang dibayangin tuh gerakannya akan lebih kompleks. Ya, jadi engine mereka akan bikin mereka lagi fokus di engine yang baru. Tentunya itu buat upcoming title ya. Itu kedua. Terus yang ketiga terakhir adalah reveal game baru, seri baru namanya Medieval ketiga ya. Gue belum pernah main seri Medieval, tapi kalau gue lihat veteran-veteran Medieval tuh termasuk yang top tier mereka, khususnya yang Medieval 2 ya. Jadi dengan rilisnya Medieval 3 gue nggak tahu mau ekspektasi apa, tapi teman-teman yang udah veteran yang udah pernah main Medieval 2 bisa komen di bawah ya. Apa ekspektasi kalian pas ngeliat wah ada Medieval 3 gitu. Nah, kalau tadi gue dengar fokus mereka adalah mereka ingin pemain itu punya kemampuan untuk rewriting history. Jadi instead of ngikutin history, following the path ya, kayak mereka ngasih chance ke pemain untuk bikin sendiri realmnya, tentunya dengan unsur historical yang ada gitu ya. Tapi pemain punya kebebasan untuk bikin sendiri realm, bikin sendiri apa yang mau kita bikin ya dalam cakupan tertentu. Tentunya ya nggak free will gitu. Gue yakin pasti ada koridor tertentu masih dalam koridor-koridor historical, tapi teman-teman bisa rewrite historinya. Itu benar menarik, tapi masih early productionnya. Nah, yang terakhir adalah stay tune di 11 Desember karena nanti akan ada world premiere, katanya the most ambitious game yang lagi mereka buat, dan itu akan kayaknya sih new title ya, new title. Jadi itu bisa gue rekap sebagai reveal dari 25 tahun yang seri Total War ya. Gue sebagai pemain RTS dan main Total War juga, ini adalah seri yang gue tunggu-tunggu tentunya. Dan sebagai pemain RTS dan temen-temen yang mau nyemplung ke RTS, gak ada salah coba masuk ke RTS dari Total War. Mau seri apapun bebas, karena tuh ada Shogun 2, ada Warhammer, ada Pharaoh, Troy, Three Kingdom, macam-macam. Kalian bisa masuk dari aspek terserah, mau aspek historical bisa, fantasi bisa gitu. Jadi bebas ya. Silakan aja masuk ke Steam-nya, lihat nanti game-gamenya apa aja. Siapa tahu ada tertarik dari kalian. Cek terus di Tripaloski untuk game-game RTS berikutnya. Sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.